Welcome viewers and neighbors to this edition of the Ag Show, and I have a real treat for all my viewers this evening. I think we have an opportunity with a project that a combined effort between the university and your cooperative extension service and others, certainly the university staff and farm staff at the research farm here called Kentland. We are here today to showcase the extension farm and the research farm in its entirety. And we've had as many as about 120, 130 folks here today at the farm visiting and taking advantage of various class activities. They've been listening to some of our specialists and various professors speak with regards to the research that's being conducted here. All this information that that we get to learn and bring back to our home county. So once again, hold on, we've got a real treat with Kentland Farm here in just a few moments.
Jon Vest is the Extension Agent for Floyd County with the Virginia Cooperative Extension. His expertise helps novice and experienced farmers produce quality livestock and crops throughout our region. Jon has offered to share his experiences with our audience and provide them with the knowledge to keep agriculture strong. This is the Ag Show with Jon Vest.
All right, viewers, as you can see behind me, I'm actually at the Manor House here at Kentland Farm, owned by Virginia Tech here in Montgomery County. The unique piece of property here, particularly with the Manor House, this home was constructed in the early 1800s. The believed date is around 1834 or so. The home was that of James Randall Kent and the Kent family. And during their particular tenure and stuff over the farm, they were the largest and most wealthy landowners in all of Montgomery County. In fact, they were 2 times richer than the second closest landowner. The farm here is a little more than 1,700 acres and was acquired by Virginia Tech back in 1986. Like I said, the Manor House behind us was the main home. One of the original owners was actually a Harmon, and the uniqueness in the manor and its preservation is something that's very important to the university, along with historical societies and the like. Inside the Manor House, you'll find ceilings that rival that of anything around, with 12 and 14 feet in height, 12 fireplaces. Just an elaborate home for its time and in its day. But now we have the opportunity to utilize this farm and this larger portion of land through Virginia Tech as one of its main research locations and teaching or education locations. And that's very valuable to the extension agents such as myself, particularly those of us here in the New River Valley area, in that all that information that we learn through the crop production or the research with animal science production, whatever it may be, becomes valuable information that I get to bring back and disseminate to the folks there in my county. So once again, as we might pan the camera over behind and on around, this is just a larger or a smaller portion of the overall 3,000 acres that Virginia Tech farms between the campus proper and this area called Kentland Farm down along the river here near Longshop in Montgomery County. The property and the farm itself actually is surrounded by the river that traverses one side and actually loops around the other, creating basically our own peninsula of area here with the Radford Army Arsenal just across the river on the other side. There's multiple ag operations going on here at any given time. We recently moved the Dairy Center and the Dairy Livestock Production Center and teaching facilities from Virginia Tech proper campus proper over here about 8 years ago. So you'll find our campus dairy, you'll find our beef research and reproduction center up here at the end, where not only is the research being done, but we have educational classrooms for those students that come and attend at this location, as well as extension programming such as what we're hosting today, where we've invited public and or producers to come visit and learn about something unique that will hopefully make them more profitable in their agriculture. Additionally, I'm going to take you down here in another few moments, and we're going to visit one section of the farm that's called home field. And home field is more the horticultural side of the actual Kentland farm as a whole. We say it's the horticultural side because that is where we grow a large number of vegetables and production scenarios, and we have an organic farm located there that gives rise or provides us the opportunity to even feed some of that produce back through dining services and the dining facilities on campus. Additionally, the folks down there at home field have lots of programs and activities, educational events like today, where we can visit, walk through, have conversations with university professors or researchers, and hear what are the newest and best advancements with regards to home or farm production. Up here on the upper side of the farm, Kentland proper, I will mention that there are 400 acres of land that are simply devoted to just the plant science and the production side of the research conducted at Kentland Farm. Livestock grazing, forage research. There's an additional 700 acres of wildlife and forestry research, as well as conservation management practices, demonstrations, all types of educational training that goes on over here on this side of the farm as a whole. And once again, over those 1,700 acres, like I said, from the dairy barns to the beef reproduction facility to the new swine facility that's going to be capable and up and running hopefully in this upcoming year or so. Just lots of opportunities to take advantage of the wealth of information that comes out of Virginia Tech that's made available to your extension staff, such as myself and the ag agents, so that we can bring it home to you. So welcome, and I hope you enjoy today's tour of Kentland Farm. And as always, involve a kid, get them out, and go enjoy some agriculture today.
A lot of what we plant is determined from our chefs. So we will ask them before planting season, what would you like to see on your menus? What fresh items would you like to promote? One example is our chili challenge. So in October, Dietrich hosts a chili challenge for a week, and every day goes hotter on the Scoville scale. So I think they start with like jalapenos, and it'll go up to Carolina Reapers on day 5. So we produce all of those peppers here on site. So that's just an example of a collaboration that we have with the chefs, and it's really fun for students to see where it comes from, and yeah. But that's kind of the process.
Is it all fresh, or do you store it?
Some of it we will store. So one example is our onions. So they're currently finishing their curing process outside, and then they're good to store for a year. Not a lot, but one of our main chefs, Chef Moritz, he is at Turner Place, and he does a lot of preservation in the summer. So he will make sauces and soups for students throughout the year, and he'll prep that in the summer. So they'll be frozen, and then he'll use them throughout the year, just so that we can utilize home field, and he can say it's grown locally on campus. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, and like our potatoes, we'll use them kind of over the course. Things that we can say we will. Yeah. The other collaboration we have is with Barbara. Now I'm switching gears to Barbara. So she does a lot of her horticulture. I know it's for her floral arrangement, which I took as an undergrad. Perfect, great. But I'll let you talk.
My name is Barbara Leshin, and I run the floral design program here on campus at Virginia Tech. I have 100 students every semester. We teach floral design. They leave every week with a floral arrangement. This was the first year. We're doing a test out here in collaboration with Dining Services of growing flowers for our events and hopefully for class. What I would like to do is to hold one lab a semester out here on Homefield Farm where I bring, so that the labs are 3 hours long, and I would bring students directly to the garden with clippers and vases, and we would talk about growing flowers, how they're grown, because you'd be surprised how many students don't know where their food or their flowers comes from. And I thought it would be great to bring them straight to the fields. And so this was a test plot this year to see how long flowers will stay in bloom, so that I know how to plan my curriculum for subsequent falls. And we learned a lot. And there's things I can't grow, and there's things that I will plant later, and stuff like that. So hopefully by next fall, students will have a class out here on Homefield Farm. And then we do it in the fall will be these type of flowers, and next spring, not this coming spring, but the following one, we hope to have tulips and things like that for the spring classes. So, and that's what I do. And then Dining Services uses the flowers also for their events and their things in the dining house. Yeah, so we started the flowers from seed. And so everything we bought, organic Johnny's seeds. Thank you, Johnny's. And we planted everything, and I hired one student. So it was a student and I all summer long, and Dining Services kept my flowers alive for me. It was great. It was a great collaboration. But yeah, we got really attached to all those little babies, you know. There's a few hundred of them out there, so definitely.
Hi, I'm Ashley Jernigan. I was just hired a few weeks ago as the new organic and sustainable vegetable cropping systems person. So my work is really focused on how soil biological processes affect crop growth and development. And I really aim to do a systems level approach that integrates both crop nutrition and pest management simultaneously. To do this, I've been focusing on a specific group of tiny animals in the soil called soil microarthropods. A lot of people have never heard of them because you can't see them with the naked eye. They're about the size of a grain of sand, actually, but they're bigger than microbes. They're one of the primary feeders on microbes, so they really affect a lot of those soil processes that you associate with crop nutrition. I just started, so I don't have any research plots I can reference, but moving forward, I'm really looking forward to integrating perennial and annual cropping systems, utilizing some of the natural chemicals that plants are producing that'll be beneficial to each other. I'm also really interested in how they can be useful for soil-borne pathogen control. So Rhizoctonia solani, any root rots you're seeing, microarthropods are a great control option for those in the future, but we just got to figure out how to manage it a little better. So that's kind of where my program is moving forward, and I'm happy to answer any soils or plant nutrition-related questions. They're soil microarthropods, so they're just tiny animals. I have stickers. So this is an example of a mite, an ore-batted mite. So they're really decomposing organic matter. And this is a columbella. They kind of look like a really tiny ant, but they're not.
The way that we get students involved at the farm is one, through classes. So with Barbara's class, also just through CALS, there are many opportunities for students to come down, tour the farm, and get their hands dirty at the farm. So one that we're working with this semester is civic agriculture, which is in the CALS department, so College of Ag and Life Sciences. So students will be coming down on a volunteer basis. They have to give me 15 hours of their time this semester, so they will be learning kind of all the aspects of harvest to processing to Southgate. So that's pretty neat. We also have a volunteer program that started back up this summer. And this fall, we did discontinue that program, but we will start it back up in the spring. So students can sign up for volunteer shifts in the morning or the afternoon, so they can kind of see two phases of the processing, probably more harvesting in the early hours of the morning and a little more processing in the afternoon. Myself, I have two interns. Jillian is one of them. Welcome, Jillian. Ben is the other, and they do a lot of work down here, from record keeping to pricing to helping us with organic certification. So they kind of see a little more in depth of what goes into the farm. And then SPES, so School of Plant Environmental Science, they are also hiring some students to help with harvest as well. And our harvest season will probably go into mid-October. And then our cleaning up the fields and winterization will begin. So it's a whole other process they get to see. We also have a lot of community members that come and ask for tours, and we had Warm Hearth here just the other week. So a bunch of different groups that come in.
Steve Rideout, plant pathologist. Extension and research, we do a lot of pumpkin research out here. We also have broccoli, tomatoes, other crops, but pumpkin are a big part of what we do. Virginia's number 5 in pumpkin production now, which is fabulous. It's a great crop. It grows really well here in the Appalachian Mountains. Really seen a lot of expansion on production. Carroll County is probably our largest producing county. But I tell people pumpkins look for an excuse to die. And they're not for, somebody that just wants to throw a crop out there and just kind of see what comes. They take a lot of management, and there are a number of different diseases that we encounter here in Virginia. I had several more out there, but I had to get out the way. So it started raining. But I was able to grab a pumpkin that has actually one of the worst diseases that we have in Virginia, and that's Plectosporium blight. So Plectosporium blight. So it's a fungal disease. It's pretty endemic in the area. Basically, it starts on the leaves. Then you have it on the vines. If you look at these vines, they actually are not healthy. You actually see lesions on the vines, etc. But where it really gets bad is when you get it on the pumpkin, on the fruit itself. And handles are gold for pumpkin farmers. They have to have a pristine handle. You don't want a soft handle that will fall apart for harvesting, handling, etc. So consumers really demand nice green, stem on the handle. And this disease kind of wrecks that. So it's something that we're looking at how to control with fungicides, but also looking at cultivars that may be less susceptible to the disease. So I did want to bring that in. And it's got some here on the handle. You can see where it's scarred up. That'll only get worse. This pumpkin has some of the, it just doesn't look healthy, right? It's not maturing quite right. It didn't get to good size. This is a Kratos. Kratos is our number 1 pumpkin variety in the state. And generally, those are going to be 20-pound pumpkins. But because of this damage, this not a 20-pound pumpkin, or I'd be struggling with it probably. So, but you can see some of the spotting on the fruit as well. So this is a disease that has been getting worse for us, unfortunately, and something that we're trying to figure out how to manage better. So
Ratatouille was born here, guys. So if you had the ratatouille today, we gave birth to it right here on these plots. Yeah, so we only have 1 row of eggplant. This was specifically grown for Chef Moritz that did the ratatouille. He likes to do eggplant parm at Turner Place, and he'll market it as home field. So they are on their way out. This is probably kind of going downhill. Beside that, we have bell peppers. So we have a few different struggles with organic, right? Because we can't spray the nice pesticides and herbicides. So we are contending with pests and weeds. So that's one issue that's ongoing. The other is just a fact from labor. So when you look at our plants, you're like, wow, they need to harvest some stuff. But we harvest every single day for hours a day. But this is a lot of produce. So that's why you do see vegetables still on the plants. But eggplants specifically for Turner Place, so that's a collaboration with that dining center. Bell peppers are something that our dining centers use consistently throughout the year. So what we like to do is we like to cater to our chefs if they want something specifically like eggplant or the chili challenge peppers. But other than that, we will just put things in the ground that we know dining services will utilize. And that's bell peppers or potatoes, which we just dug some. We have more to dig up, some russets out here. Red potatoes, Yukon potatoes. We have tomatoes. So the ones you see that are dying are our San Marzanos. They're more delicate. So we were kind of in a phase of, do we choose our plum regals, which are a little hardier, which is what we did, or do we choose our San Marzanos? The San Marzanos were requested by a chef for sauce. So he did a little bit of research on how he wanted to produce his sauces for our new dining center, which will be opening hopefully in the spring, Perry Place. And then the rest, we kind of switched our focus over to plum regals, which are used consistently in the dining centers as well. So behind that, we have more peppers. We have Carmen's, poblanos, jalapenos, ghost peppers for the chili challenge. At the very end, and we can walk out there if you guys are interested, but we have put asparagus in the ground. So hopefully we will see that. I like that face. We will see that growing in a year or two. It was planted in microclover this year. So that was a little bit of a research endeavor, hoping that we would see some less weeds coming up. I'm not going to say that was successful, but it was something that we were looking into. So yeah, various different things and collaborations going on in the plots.
So we're at the tail end of the growing season. Things don't look great, but we tried. We came out on Friday and at least tried to get some of the weeds out of here and things. And this downpour we just had also does not help with how things look right now. Obviously, we grew maroon and orange, fall colors. Next year, we will plant all colors. I decided that we don't have to stick to the whole maroon and orange theme. And I think, you know, it'll be a lot more colorful and bright if we brought in other colors too. If you have any specific questions about what you see, what it is, I'm happy to answer those type of questions. It's been an experiment. And like I said, you can tell, even like I thought Cosmos would do a lot better, but they didn't like the weather this summer, you know? So there's always that with horticulture too, is something that does really great this year might do horrible next year just because of the weather or a disease, or, you know, so you can't predict. But we had a lot of success. We've done quite a few events out of here. I don't know if dining's been using it or not, but we have been able to use quite a few flowers already this semester. So, any specific questions, or if you want to know what something is, just let me know. So this is millet. And the best thing is to be working out here and see birds land on this and just eat millet right next to you while you're working. So, what kind of millet? Ornamental. Oh. I can't really remember the scientific name, but and it's great. It's great in a floral design.
Do you prefer to use it when it has the seeds in it, or wants the bird to be? Yeah.
Like right now. I like it right now.
Yeah, so that one over there.
Yeah.
As the top,
Yep.
yes.
Yep. And it also, if it hadn't just rained, it gets this yellow pollen on it that you have to scrape off.
Oh.
Yeah. But this is great as a line. So, you know, it's floral design, right? I'm a design teacher. So I'm growing something like this for line in a design. So, and this, people always ask me, it's quite, I can't tell you everything we call it, but What we love about this plant is that these individual laterals will create a little maroon ball, which adds all kinds of texture in a floral design. So this is called mass, this is called line, and this kind of mass is really nice. And this one plant will give me a ton of those. So it's great. The only thing is that Brooks will hate me next year because this reseeds like crazy. I buy my flowers from the suppliers, Dunman and TFS down in Roanoke. I am still spending the same amount of money with them that I did prior to planting this thing. It really did not affect my classroom flowers that much because they can buy flowers all season long. I need flowers from August to December and from January to May, and I can't grow that. And I know that really wasn't your question. So I can't grow that, so I do depend on them to buy flowers out of season. And this is called all kinds of things. Kiss Me Over the Fence, Bleeding Heart. Another type of amaranth adds really cool line in a design. So yeah, so deer will taste everything, right? So the Queen Anne's lace looking one is going to be successful. Everything else the deer will eat. Yeah.
Welcome friends and neighbors back to the Ag Show. As you can see behind me, we're down at visiting Kentland Farm, down at off of Price's Fork toward the Long Shop area here in Montgomery County. And this is one of Virginia Tech's a premier farm with regards to using it for research as well as teaching and utilizing that information that we get that's made available to us here in Extension to carry back to our home counties to pass along to the producers that I work with. We had an exciting day here at Kentland today. Right about the time we arrived down at the horticulture section, we were inundated with a goodly amount of rain, but no one's complaining about rain these days as we need every drop, as many of you know. What I have behind me is a particular area of the vegetable production that we have growing down here at Home Field Farm. Home Field is one section or a smaller component of the larger Kentland Farm that is here located as the Virginia Tech Experiment Farm in Montgomery County. Here we have actually the opportunity to grow materials and organic production for both the university cafeterias and dining halls, as well as the learning and the research aspects of both insect identification and control, disease recognition. And then we had the various specialists today to take that one step further and have a conversation with our attendees and really get an idea of what to expect in their home growing situations.